What is going on? Week 3 preview episode is here, and I'm going to start off with some good news for you guys. This is the last episode with this audio. I've got a new microphone. It's actually here. I just didn't have time to set it up. But this is the last one, so thank you for bearing with me. It'll sound hopefully a lot better moving forward. I got a lot of games to cover, so I'm jumping right in. We're going to start with Atlanta at Carolina. Atlanta minus 5.5 over under 43.5. You know what? I like Carolina to cover in that game. It's at home. Bryce Young looked good. He put up almost 30 fantasy points at Arizona last week. I think that they can get it going. This could be kind of a shootout. I like this game a lot. Over under 43.5. You know what? Screw it. Let's go with the over. Obviously, you're starting Bijan. You're starting on the other side, and Drake London. You're starting McMillan, who I really like in this game, and Chuba Hubbard. Other guys, the QBs, I like Bryce Young more than Penix in this game. Can't recommend Kyle Pitts. I was going to recommend him, but he's on and off the injury report, so I don't think this is really going to be a Pitts needed game. I think Bijan, London, and then on the other side McMillan, Chuba. It's going to be a fun game. Next game, Green Bay at Cleveland. Green Bay minus 7.5 over under 41.5. Can you flex Green Bay's defense in this game? I mean, they are them and the kicker from Dallas, Brandon Aubrey. Can we just flex both of those guys? I mean, Brandon Aubrey has more points than most guys you took in the first, second round. I mean, it's crazy. But anyways, Green Bay at Cleveland. Green Bay minus 7.5. They're going to be without Jaden Reed. Josh Jacobs is banged up. Good defense. You know what? Give me Cleveland to cover. But the over under 41.5, give me the under. I don't think this is going to be a high scoring game. But you're starting Green Bay's D, you're starting Josh Jacobs, and on the other side, the only one I'm kind of interested in is Dylan Sampson. I think Judkins is sweet, but I think that Sampson might get used in this game a bit more. I think Judkins, his style, he's going to get bottled up with that defense. So, and then I was thinking of Cedric Tillman, but I don't think Cleveland are going to be very competitive. I think Joe Flacco's going to be under a lot of pressure, and you're looking at the NFL season's second 3-0 team. Congratulations, Buffalo. That was awesome. Okay, next game. Houston at Jacksonville. Man, both of these teams need a win, but especially Houston. And that's going to be a tough ask there. Jacksonville should be 2-0. They should have beat Cincy last week. But Jacksonville minus 2 over under 44.5. Give me Jacksonville to cover that. I think they win this game. They might actually win it quite handedly. The over under 44.5. Give me the over. I like Travis Etienne in this game. I like Travis Hunter in this game because I think that they're going to use him more on offense. And look, I don't know. I kind of like Jacksonville's defense in this game, honestly. It's not just a matter of C.J. Stroud with that offensive line. Even when he didn't have that much pressure on him last week against Tampa, he was so inaccurate. He missed a lot of throws. I'm not right. I mean, you got to play Nico. You have to start Nico. But he's the only must start on Houston right now. C.J. Stroud is not a must start, but you cannot bench Nico yet. Okay, next game. Cincinnati at Minnesota. The Jake Browning at Carson Wentz Bowl. Wow. Minnesota minus 3. I already said in my starts of the week, I love Jordan Mason this week. Minnesota minus 3 over under 41.5. Give me the over. Give me Minnesota to win by 3 or more. I'll take that. Love Jordan Mason. You know what? Chase Brown, they got to get going. I read a stat. Cincinnati I don't think anyone's ran the ball less than Cincinnati so far through 2 games. They need to get him going, okay? And then that's really you're not benching Jefferson, you're not benching Chase, but you can look for better options than T. Higgins in this game. So start your Jordan Mason, start Chase Brown. I know it's been rough, but this could be a Chase Brown game. They need to get him going while they're figuring out if Brown is the guy. Run the ball, and then you're obviously starting Chase and Jefferson. Next game, Pittsburgh at New England. This is going to be a good game. Pittsburgh minus 1.5, over under 44.5. Ooh, give me. I'm gonna go with New England. No, give me Pittsburgh to win that game by more than 1.5. I'll take them to cover, even though I really like New England. No, I think Pittsburgh wins that game. Over under 44.5. Let's go with the under on that. Could be a lot of field goals. That kind of game. It's got that kind of feel to it. But you can start both quarterbacks, Rodgers and May. And I like Jaylen Warren in this game. When I was talking about the last game, surprisingly, Pittsburgh are a bottom 2 team in terms of run attempts so far. This could be a game. Jaylen Warren balled out last week, but a lot of it was in the air. They need to get more of a running game going. They've got 3 running backs. I don't think Caleb's getting on the field anytime soon, but still they do. And then on the other side of the ball, this Kayshon Boutte, I thought it was going to be Demario Douglas. He scored a touchdown week 1, but Boutte seems to be that guy right now. It's Drake May's favorite target. And they need to get Hunter Henry going. That's been kind of surprising because I thought he was a nice sleeper, and they had a connection last year, Hunter Henry and Drake May. I'd like to see Hunter Henry get on the score sheet in this game. They need to get him going. The running game, it's been Ramondre. But Trevion, come on, man. One of these days, one of these games, they're going to get him going. It could be this game. But like I said, until Ramondre fumbles, and this could be the game he does because that's a tough defense that they're playing, it's going to be the Ramondre show, but then Trevion is right there. And they've been using a lot of Antonio Gibson too, which is kind of surprising. But anyways, give me Pittsburgh to cover and win that game. Rams at Philly. This is a big one. This is a huge one. Philly minus 3.5, over under 44.5. Give me the over and give me the Rams to cover. Philly wins by a field goal. 2 good teams. And you're playing all your studs in that game. You can play both quarterbacks, Stafford and obviously, why can't I think of his name? Jalen Hurts. Oh my gosh, sorry. I have another one. And then A.J. Brown. Start him. I don't know, hopefully. You're starting Puka, you're starting Devontae Adams, you're starting Saquon Barkley, and you're starting Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams needs to get going too. I'm not going to recommend Devontae Smith yet because I'm only picking one. In a team that throws the least amount in football, I'm only picking one wide receiver, and that's A.J. Brown. So this could be it. Who knows? But Philly's 2-0. We'll see. So next game, New York Jets starting Tyrod Taylor with Fields out at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay minus 6.5. I think they cover. Over under 43.5. Give me the under. I think Bucky Irving has a monster game in this game. Egbuka's on the injury report, so monitor that. But I think it's a big Bucky Irving game, and I think Rachaad White could be decent. This could be a cash game play if you want to save some money, but I think Rachaad White could be a nice play in this too. But yeah, definitely love me some Bucky Irving in this game. On the Jets side of the ball, I mean, I don't like Garrett Wilson with Tyrod Taylor at all. And I think Tampa's going to stuff the run because they don't, they're not really nervous about Tyrod throwing to anybody. So I think it's going to be a rough day at the office for the Jets. So hopefully you have different options. The only one I might be interested in if I had to is Breece Hall, but I don't love it. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Indianapolis at Tennessee, divisional game. Indy 2-0. You know what a crazy stat with them? They have not punted the ball in 2 games yet. First 2 games, they have not punted yet. They're scoring on every possession. I mean, now granted, both of those games, they were at home, but still coming off a huge freaking win against Denver last week. Can't say enough about that game. Please try to watch some highlights of that. I can't. What a game. But Indy minus 4.5, over under 43.5. Give me the under. And you know what? Give me Indy to cover 4.5. Fire up pretty much every offensive weapon on Indy. The only, I love Jonathan Taylor moving forward in this game and the next one and the next one. I think you can play Daniel Jones. I like Tyler Warren in this game. I like Michael Pittman. I would love to see Indy use this opportunity against Tennessee to try to start getting Josh Downs going. Huge Josh Downs guy. I took him in a lot of places over Pittman. I made the call. I like Josh Downs more, and hopefully they get him going and acclimated with Daniel Jones in this game because they need him if they're seriously going to be a contender, which I think they can be. They really do need to get Josh Downs going. On the other side of the ball, the only one that I'm kind of interested in, and he could be on way, he's probably been picked up by now, but I like this Alec Ayamanor, this rookie wide receiver for Tennessee. He's built a nice little connection with Cam Ward through the first 2 games. I like him moving forward. I think he's basically made himself as the wide receiver 1 on that team, which means if it goes like I think it's going to go and Indy wins, Tennessee's sitting at an 0-3 record, thinking more about their future. Ridley can be on the trading block. Calvin Ridley, what's the point of letting him sit at the other side of 30? Is he 30 yet? I think he's 30. But he could be a name on the trading block come Halloween when the trade deadline comes up. But yeah, so give me Indy, cover, win the game, take the under. Let's see, the next, so they'll be 3-0. So we'll have Buffalo, we'll have Green Bay, who else? And Philly. We'll all be 3-0. And Tampa Bay will be 3-0. So there you go. Next game, Las Vegas at Washington. Jaden Daniels has been ruled out, and it's going to be Marcus Mariota at home against Geno Smith. Here's my biggest thing on this game. That sucks. Obviously, it sucks for Daniels. Hopefully, he gets better and he's good for next week. The league needs him. Fantasy managers need him. It just, hopefully it's just a one game type of deal. This is the first game he's missed since the start of his rookie season last year. In his whole career, this is the first game he's missed. And I just hope that, like I said, he's back, because the only player I can recommend with Marcus Mariota is their running back, which is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I think he has a nice game this week. On the other side of the ball, Genty. Come on, man. He made some noise during the week in a press conference. He was saying something like, I don't think you take a guy like me that early in the draft. He went 6th overall. You don't take a guy like me that early if you're not going to give me the ball a bunch. Well, dude, it's not just about that. Like I said in the reaction episode, shockingly, the guy cannot pass block at all. And Geno threw 3 picks in that game and was sacked a bunch. But if you watch, at least one of those interceptions was Genty's fault for just not picking up the coverage. So it doesn't matter. You can't be sitting there saying you need a bunch more reps if you're not going to pass block. There's more than just running the football, and you got to get better at that. And this week is an opportunity. If Pete Carroll goes, all right, dude, here you go, and you're not going to pick up any pass protection for Geno, it's going to be... Zamir White's going to be back there. Can you imagine that? Zamir White over Genty? But come on. Those things matter huge. Because Vegas without Daniels on the other side, they could definitely win this game. You know, I'm not really scared of Mariota or any of those weapons. Vegas, what's the line? Vegas at Washington, Washington -3.5. Yeah, man, give me the Raiders in this game. Give me the Raiders, just money line, just to win. I think that they're going to win this game. I like their weapons. Brock Bowers is healthy. Jacoby Myers could get going. I like Myers, Genty, hopefully. I like Geno in this game. I like Myers, Geno, Genty. We'll see, but he's going to get an opportunity here to put up or shut up here, and he's super talented. And then obviously Bowers. And then on the other side, I'm only going to recommend Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. It's in Washington. They need him. Next game, Denver at the Chargers. The second best game of the slate. Denver loses that heartbreaker last week at Indy. Chargers 2-0. The Chargers -3, over under 45.5. Give me Denver to win this game. I'm feeling it, guys. I'm feeling it. And here's the deal. It's been great to see Herbert throwing and airing it out. Love to see it. But you're going up against that secondary that is no joke. That Patrick Surtain and the rest of those boys, that's no joke. Which means it's a home game for LA. They might have to switch it up, which with the running game, I actually prefer Najee Harris in this game over the rookie Hampton. Hampton has struggled so far the first two games, and the last snap he had was in the game last week on Monday. He fumbled. Najee took over. Najee's healthy. This could be a conservative game. If I'm the two coaches in this game, I don't want a shootout. I want this to be a possession game. I want to have it and drain the clock. Use on one side of the ball, it's going to be J.K. Dobbins, revenge game. He was there last year. J.K. Dobbins, they're controlling the clock. And then on the other side, the other veteran running back in Najee Harris, controlling the clock. Herbert, you guys don't want to get into a shootout. I don't see that. I think this is a possession game. It could come down to who has the ball last. It could be a low-scoring game, so 45.5, give me the under in this. That's what makes the most sense to me. Now, I could look wrong here, but I think Denver's defense is too good, but LA is a 2-0 team. So I think it could be a grind. And, and it's interesting because both these teams spent high draft capital on a running back, and neither has gotten going yet. With two veterans, controlling the rock in front of them, and I don't see that changing this week. So I'm still holding out hope with Harvey, but we'll see. We'll see. Right now, it worked. It's working with Dobbins. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I like Denver to win. I like them to, and I like the game to go under. Next game, New Orleans at Seattle. Seattle -7.5. With no Charbonnet. Charbonnet's not going to play. Thought about making Sam Darnold my start of the week. I think it's a huge game for Jackson Smith and Jigba. It could be, but could Seattle just do this and get through this game without trying to, use their stars like that? I think it's a massive Kenneth Walker game with Charbonnet out. I toyed with the idea of making him a start of the week. He's going to ball out this week. Why wouldn't he? It's a tough defense. I love Juwan Johnson on the other side. You're starting Kamara. I wouldn't start Olave or Shaheed. Definitely wouldn't start Rattler. You're starting Kamara and you're starting Juwan Johnson on that side. You're starting Walker. You can start Darnold. You're starting JSN. You never bench him. And, a sneaky cash lineup play. If you want to save some money, you could throw Cooper Kupp in there. Maybe he gets 10 to 15 PPR points, and he's probably dirt cheap. But I don't know. I'd rather, if I want a piece in this game, I want Kenneth Walker, and I'd pay a little bit because I think he's going to go crazy. So New Orleans at Seattle. Seattle -7.5. Over under 41.5. Give me Seattle to cover that. They win by 10, and it hits the under of 41.5, which is low. Do I want? I don't know. Yeah, that one's tough. I'd probably stay with the under on that one. Now, Dallas at Chicago. This is an interesting one right here, because Dallas, I made Caleb Williams my start of the week. It's a huge over-under, 50.5 points. Dallas only -1. So even Vegas, like my mind, I'm like, this could go either way. Both teams really need to win this game. Dallas is 1-1, but they need. Is it fluky? Both games are at home, right? If they lose at Chicago, an 0-2 team that just got brutalized last week in Detroit, what are people going to say? They're not going to think they're a contender, right? So they have to win this game. Chicago on the other side, 0-2, after they just got humiliated, they need a bounce back. Ben Johnson's losing his mind already. I guess it's practice. These guys, it reminds me a lot of any of you guys Ted Lasso guys, like with, what was that coach's name? Was it Nigel or no? It was Nathan. I think it was Nathan, Coach Nate. And he ends up leaving. And when he left, he was kind of like cocky about it, this and that. And then after he'd been there a while, things didn't really work out. And he desperately wanted to come back. And Ted and the other coach, they're like, you're always welcome here. And he brought him back in. If things keep going, if Chicago gets blown out by Dallas, I mean, it's not going to happen throughout the season, but you could see Ben Johnson going, screw this, man. I'm coming back next year, guys. And listen, and it happens. Josh McDaniels, New England. How many times has he left New England to go from the OC to go and be a head coach, and then he comes right back? I mean, anyways, I need to calm down with that. But here's the whole deal. I think that it's going to be I think the referees are really going to earn their paychecks in this one. I think it's going to be sloppy on defense for both sides. I think you're going to see a ton of pass interference calls and weird Chicago's without their best corner, and they weren't even very good with him. Jalen Johnson's going to miss this game. That's huge for the secondary. So you're going to see a lot of Lamb and Pickens on one side. You're going to see a lot of Odunze and DJ Moore. DJ Moore, guy I almost made my start of the week because I love Caleb in this game. I'd look for a better option than Swift. I'd actually recommend looking on waivers and seeing if Kyle Monangai, their rookie running back who's climbed the depth chart, he's their running back too right now. If Swift's inefficiencies keep going, he's going to be losing carries more and more and more throughout this season, because they're just not going to deal with it, But anyways, so I love Dak, I love Caleb, I love both Lamb and Pickens on the one side, I love both Odunze and Moore on the other side. I can't recommend starting any tight ends, and I love Javonte Williams in this game. I don't like Swift, but I love Javonte in this game. Chicago, 30th against the run so far through 2 games. I see a lot of pass interferences. I see a lot of goal line situations. I think Javonte goes for maybe 2 in this game. I think it could be a big Javonte game. I don't think Javante's just a good start. I think he's a must start in this game. I love him. Maybe I should have made him the start of the week. I went with Mason because it just makes sense, but Javonte could be the start of the week in this one, the more that I process this. But anyways, Dallas at Chicago. Dallas -1. I think Chicago wins this game. Over under 50.5. Smashing the over. We're talking, this game's going to get to 70 points, I think, easily. So there you go. Arizona at San Francisco. 2-2-0 teams. Divisional opponents. Mac Jones. I'm sure you've heard a little bit about them talking about Brock Purdy, and he's got the questionable tag on your fantasy lineup. I heard Kyle Shanahan talk today. The only reason he's questionable is they don't know if he's going to be an emergency QB or healthy enough to be even a QB2, or if he's just sitting this out altogether. But he even said, he goes, it's extremely unlikely that Purdy starts on Sunday. So you're going to see Mac Jones at home, 2-0 against Arizona, who've had the easiest opening schedule so far with New Orleans and Carolina. I think San Francisco wins. The line is San Francisco -2.5. Give me them to cover that. I think they win by at least a field goal. Over under 44.5. Give me the over. And you can play Mac Jones in this game. He's a sneaky. You want to save some money and cash. You probably have better options, hopefully, on your actual fantasy roster. But you can play Mac Jones in this game. You can play Ricky Pearsall in this game. Definitely smash Christian McCaffrey in this game. He's going to go off again. I won't get into my sell high stuff like I always do with him. He always makes me nervous. But, and again, it's just, I go back to last season, that Buffalo game, where he was out there in Buffalo in the winter, dominating. He was the best player on the field. All of a sudden, and he was going off like he does, right? And then all of a sudden, he's running in the middle of the field, and he just falls down, collapses. So naturally, you think, oh, the ACL just went. No, his knees just gave out on him. It just stopped, and he didn't play another snap, I don't think, the rest of the season. It was one of the last games anyways, but it just freaks me out. He's off to a really hot start. I get it. He might be the most consistent player in fantasy when he's healthy and he's on the field. He's locked and loaded to get over 20 points. He's like a quarterback, you know? So right now, I mean, he could be the QB or the ranked running back 1 this week. At home to Arizona, both teams 2-0. I think San Francisco wins this game. I think Trey McBride has a big game. I don't really like the running backs on Arizona in this game. Marvin, you know what I think about Marvin. Sorry, guys. But I like McBride on Arizona, and then I like McCaffrey, Pearsall, and even Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones more than Kyler Murray in this game, which is crazy to say, but I do. So, let's see. Last 2 games, Kansas City at the Giants. Okay, Kansas City, we all know, 0-2. Oh, panic, everything, this and that. I did some deep diving on this. All right, first of all, it's Kansas City -6 over under 45.5. Well, first of all, Kansas City, and I'm not a Chiefs fan, so don't think I'm like making excuses, but they did play 2 playoff teams. One won the Super Bowl last season, and one made the playoffs, and the Chargers are a lock to make the playoffs as it stands right now, right? Everybody agrees on that. They look like a playoff team. So those weren't 2 games to sneeze at, but they're 0-2. So I'm like, what is it? Is it the roster? What's going on? They are running the ball. There are only 2 teams in football that are running the ball less than them, and that's Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Yet there are only 4 teams in football that are averaging more yards per carry. They're averaging over 5 yards a carry. KC's got to run the ball more. Now, if you really dive into it, they're dealing with basically a whole new left side of the offensive line. And I think there's at least one piece on the right that's new, right? They lost Joe Thuney in the offseason. So they're not running enough. Opposing teams, they're not really scared about that wide receiver core. Kelsey's old and slow. It just is what it is. He's a Mount Rushmore type of tight end, but his prime is long behind him. So I think for Kansas City, at least in this game, you pick one of those running backs. Those 2 running backs, they're both rhythm-based running backs in Pacheco and Hunt. Pacheco's got like 4 years, he's like 4 years younger than him. But you're splitting carries, this and that. You need to just pick one. This first half, I just want to roll out and just go with Pacheco. Okay? Hit up Pacheco, get him in a rhythm. It's like bowling. Like, get me into a rhythm. You're running me up. We're power runners. Get me into a rhythm and let's get this going. Okay. And then, because otherwise, listen, the Giants just played a hell of a game at Dallas last week. They have neighbors. Wan'Dale Robinson, I wanted to make him a start of the week, but he's hurt. I don't even know if he's going to play, which sucks for the Giants if you're a Giants fan, because he's starting to get going. I think it's silly to talk about threatening Russell Wilson to get benched if they don't win this game. I've heard that chatter already. It's like, you guys just saw Wilson with that O-line. You don't have a running game, and he put up 450 yards and lost an over. 450 yards, and you think he's the problem? You think Jackson Dart's going to do that as a rookie? Absolutely not. I'm not a Russell Wilson guy, but how is that the issue? Fix your offensive line. Get a better running back court. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not Wilson. How can you say that after 450-yard performance? I don't even know how many touchdowns he threw. What, 4? Are you kidding me? Like, the Giants, do you guys really think, this 0-2 start, did you really expect to, be 2-0 right now? And you're sitting there like desperate? We got to bounce back. I don't understand that. It's not Wilson. If Wilson balls out in this game and they lose, it's not going to be, they're not 0-3 because of Wilson. So it's just strange to me that they're talking about, Wilson's on a short leash. This could be it for him. Jackson Dart will come and take over next week. I don't know. But anyways, it's a primetime Sunday night game. KC, and the Giants are going to be feeling that. They probably had to answer all this crap all week in their, like, hey, the 0-2 Chiefs team are coming into town. What do you think? And it's about them, right? They're probably like, who cares? Listen, can the Giants win this game? The way that Kansas City has been playing, they could. It's in New York, tough place to play, prime time. I think you will get Mahomes, who's leading the league right now, or leading that team, leading Kansas City in rush yards per attempt. That can't happen. You guys got to figure that out. But like I said, pick a running back. If you like Kareem Hunt more in this matchup, then give him more opportunities. But you got to let one of them get into a rhythm and try it out. And you got to run the ball a lot more. And between now, week 3, and then week 7, because Rashee Rice is suspended the first 6 games. And then don't fact check, but is Kansas City's bye week 7? So you might not get Rice until week 8. Don't hold me to that. I don't know if that's true. But I thought I heard something like that. But Kansas City -6, over under 45.5. I can't believe I'm saying this, but give me New York to cover and Kansas City to win by a Harrison Butker field goal at the end. And I know that sounds wild, but, Kansas City's a bit lost right now. It's weird. Hopefully they, for their sake, hopefully they come out and they ball out and they this and that, but I don't know. It's not been pretty so far. If Wan'Dale Robinson plays, fire him up. Obviously, you never bench Neighbors. I can't recommend starting one of the KC running backs because until I see it, they're just going back and forth and they're just counteracting with each other. And I don't recommend any pass catching option on KC. Last week, I got cute and thought Juju was going to have a big game. Hell no. Don't do that again. So really and truly, I like Mahomes in the game. I kind of like Wilson. I don't like either running back for New York. Scatterboo, if I had to pick one or the other, it'd probably be Scatterboo just because if they get in the goal line, he's their power back. That's the only reason, is if he gets near the goal line, that he can maybe punch one in. But other than that, I don't like the running backs. But I do love, and I'm not high on the tight ends in this game either. Mahomes, you can play Russell Wilson, Neighbors, Wandale if he plays, and I think that's kind of it, really, right? So do I think Kansas City? Yeah. And then the over-under, give me the under. 45.5, give me the under. Last game on the slate, and it's the best one. The Monday night game, Detroit at Baltimore. Both teams 1-1. Okay. Zay Flowers for Baltimore, I made my start of the week. I think the over-under is 52.5, the highest on the slate. Baltimore minus 4.5. I love Zay Flowers in this game. I love St. Brown on the other side in this game. I think if you're Detroit's defense, and I think this isn't just for Detroit, I think it's for every team moving forward, you have to just pick one. You either pick, we're taking Derrick Henry out of the game, or we're taking Lamar out of the game. And to me, which is neither, it's both of them are very hard to do, but Derrick Henry is, to me, is easier because he's an up the gut kind of running back and he powers through. Lamar's going to do his thing. The Ravens, surprisingly, aren't getting a whole lot of pressure on that defensive line. If that stays the case Monday night, and that O-line for Detroit that held up a lot better in week 2 when they were playing the Bears and not Micah Parsons in Green Bay and Rashawn Gary and all that, if they can hold up that rush, if Detroit can, that offensive line, you could see a massive, massive shootout. And I think that's what's going to happen. Goff gets real nervous under pressure. He almost plays like a bit like a rookie. Like you see bits of him and you're like, okay, I get it. And then you see bits of him like, oh my gosh, this guy's a rookie. But Baltimore are letting teams score on them. Big time. They gave up 41 in week 1. They gave up 20 or something against Cleveland. I think this has a potential to be a massive shootout. The points get into the 70s. I think you fire up, obviously, Lamar. I think you can play Goff, which is a huge thing to say because people will be scared off of Goff in this game. And I'm calling my shot. I'm not. I think Goff is going to go crazy in this game too. Which means I love St. Brown in this game. I love Jahmyr Gibbs in this game. I like Laporta in this game. Laporta was basically the one real bright spot on offense in week 1 when they got destroyed by Green Bay. Last week, when the narrative with Detroit, too many mouths to feed, they all ate last week. One's going to miss out, and that was unfortunately Laporta, who had just under 8 PPR points. But in this game, I like Laporta. I love him this season. I really do. So I think the one guy that, it's either going to be Montgomery or Jameson that kind of has a step back. I think Gibbs is going to go crazy. I think St. Brown is going to go crazy. I think Goff is going to go crazy. And I like Laporta a lot. I love Lamar in this game. I'm hoping. Sorry, I'm a Detroit Lions fan. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to show any favorites. I'm trying to be as neutral as possible. I'm just thinking of how this game could go. I think if the defense bottles up Henry like Cleveland did last week, Lamar's still going to go nuts. Lamar's going to go nuts no matter what. If the defense decides to go, let's let Henry go and just mark Lamar, Lamar will still go off. He's that good. He really is. You can't stop him. So you just try to stop his other pieces. Zay Flowers is going to have a monster game. Monster. He's my start of the week. I love him in this game. I love him in cash lineups. I love him as the captain in the captain showdown that night in that game because he won't be at the top, And I'm not recommending Andrews. It'll be interesting to see if Likely, who's still questionable, I don't know why they didn't put him on the IR. If he misses this game, why didn't they put him on the IR? and just miss 4 weeks? Is it because they wanted him to practice? I don't even think the guy's practicing. I don't know. But they need him. You could see a little bit of Rashad Bateman. He's an interesting cash play for that one because he's going to be real cheap. I'm really excited for this game. I think it's going to smash the over. I think both teams are going to struggle at getting pressure on either QB, which just has a potential for a freaking fantasy bonanza, and I cannot wait for that game. That'll do it, guys. Listen, real quick, not to sound like a broken record, but please, please, please hit that like and subscribe button. Share this with your friends. Let's get this going. Like I said, the new mic will be hooked up. My next episode will probably, Tuesday. It'll be my my week 3 reaction. And yeah, I'm super excited. Have a great and safe weekend, everybody, and crush it this week in fantasy. All right? Take care.